Good afternoon, everybody. How y'all doing? Pretty good here, and welcome to the channel. Hey, I'm out driving around in the Tundra, and earlier this morning I made a video about tow haul mode. Check that out if you didn't see it. Wow. But anyway, as I'm out here driving around, loving this truck. I mean, loving this truck. I don't think I've ever loved a truck as much as this one. I had to get on here and make a video because I wanted to capture it while I'm feeling the most love, if that makes any sense. This truck is nothing short of amazing, and I know a lot of people out there talk about how it's behind, it's outdated, it doesn't have the most tech in it, and I'm one of those people before I got one. Let me tell you, I have had Fords, Rams, Chevys way back in the day, and this is by far the most solid, capable truck that I've had. And I'm not saying that because I have one now. I try to tell you guys, you know, how it is. If I don't like something, I'll tell you. And if something goes wrong, I'll tell you that too. But every time I get in this truck, or every time I try something new, for instance, tow haul mode this morning, I'm just more impressed. This truck is solid. Nothing has gone wrong with it. It seems to me that every time I get a new truck, excluding this one, there's always something. But not true in the Toyota brand. And this goes for the Tacoma as well. I didn't have any issues with that truck either. But it just continues to impress me. Now, it doesn't have the most flashy interior, I'll say that, but it's nice. Excuse me. It doesn't have the most cutting edge looking, because it certainly is capable, technology, but it does the job. It does everything you want to do. And as far as, let's talk about performance for a minute. And I know it's a truck, and why are you talking about performance in a truck? But hey, for me, it's got to have some performance components to it, or I don't like it. I mean, I don't like any vehicle that's sluggish or slow or laggy or, you know, rolls and all that crap when you turn it, specifically to a truck. This truck doesn't do any of that. This truck has power. It has plenty of power. With the iForce V8, it's plenty. You don't need any more. But if you want more, hit that tow haul button. Now, I know it's meant for towing, right? Or hauling, either way. But I'm telling you that if you want that extra oomph, hit that button. It's amazing. As far as roll, you know, where I live, or the part of the country I'm in, we are roundabout crazy. We have roundabouts everywhere now, it seems. They're all over the place. So I get a lot of opportunity to go around these roundabouts. And if you're going to feel roll, you're going to feel it when you're going around these things. From when you enter and you start to turn to when you come out and you go straight for wherever you're going. You're going to feel it. And I haven't felt that once in this truck. I did feel it in the Fords that I had. Suspension-wise, it rides like a luxury car. You know, trucks used to be, you'd feel everything in the road. They were bouncy and they were rattly, and the separation between the bed and the cab would always move like crazy, and it would drive you nuts. Not so in this truck. I wouldn't even know there's a bed back there if I didn't know there was a bed back there. Because it, one of my favorite words, it articulates separate from the front of the cab. Because it's a bed, right? Two separate pieces, if you will. None of that in this truck. Comfort in these seats, I'd say they're probably one of the top 2 truck seats I've ever had as far as comfort goes. The Rebels were very comfortable as well. Again, the suspension, it's smooth as silk. It's amazing to me, and I think part of that, actually, is because of how heavy the truck is. You know, it sits on its suspension and it rides well because it is so heavy on that suspension. But to Toyota's credit, they have accounted for that in the suspension that they put on this truck. It's absolutely wonderful. The sight lines and stuff that I've mentioned before, I mean, it is a Crewmax, so it's got glass all over the place. You can see everywhere. But the best thing about this truck is it doesn't feel like a big truck. You know, this truck is every bit as big as every other half-ton full-size truck out there with quad cab. But it doesn't feel that way in this truck. And it's because of the way that the front end is set up. I believe it's because of the shorter and sloping front end. You just don't feel like you're in a big truck. You don't have to concentrate as much to keep this thing where you're supposed to be in your lane, so that you're not driving either off in the berm on that way or over in the other people's lanes on that side. And it's a nice feeling. You know, it's nice to get in and have a full-size truck and not feel like you're in a full-size truck, at least from a driving perspective. I mean, obviously, I know I'm in a full-size truck. I mean, come on, right? But you don't feel that when you're driving it on the road, and I really like that. That's probably one of the most things that I like in this truck, I guess, is the feel that you get while driving. It's just amazing to me. Kudos to Toyota for doing a great job with that. This is, in my opinion, a driver's truck. If that makes sense to you guys. This is a driver's truck. You know, I consider myself to be a vehicle driver, if that makes any sense. When I get in a car, I want to be as close to being one with that car or truck as I can be. And so far, in any of the trucks that I've had, both mid-size, small, full-size, quad cab, single cab, you name it, this is the closest feel that I've ever had in any truck to being one with the vehicle. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. That or I'm just nuts. Could be. You never know. But, wow. I just wanted to get on here and talk about that a little bit. You know, I am not a brand loyalist. As many of you probably know, there's not a car out there that I won't buy because it doesn't have a certain name on it. I buy vehicles that I think I'm going to like for what they are, irregardless of who the manufacturer is. And in this case, I will say that Toyota has done an excellent job with the Tundra. I know there hasn't been a refresh in a while. There's one coming in 2021, I've heard. We'll see, who knows. I just hope they don't ruin it with all of the governmental economy standards and crap that they're going to be forced to do. It's not really their fault. They're going to have to do these things because the government mandates that they do. I just hope that it doesn't ruin the feel of this truck, because I think the formula that they have right now is spot on for people like me who like to drive their vehicles, who like the driving experience. It's not just transportation for me. If that were the case, I'd buy a Prius. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Please hit a big thumbs up for me if you would. That helps out. Click that subscribe button if you haven't before. And we'll see you next time on the web. Have a good day. I know I will in this truck. Bye.